In a previous video, I decided to extract the film from a disposable camera to shoot it in my F3. And that left me with the bits of a disposable camera. Now, while I was filming that video, but off camera, I actually disassembled the disposable camera completely to see what was inside and how it worked. And while doing that, I realized that I could actually reload this camera with whatever film I chose. I reached into my film stock and picked out a roll of Cinestill. Yep. But not only is it Cinestill, it's actually expired Cinestill, because this roll expired 6 months ago. And the reason I'm using this expired Cinestill is because I actually bought 2 boxes of this like 2 years ago, and I didn't really like it when I first shot it. So now I'm going to shoot my last roll in a disposable camera. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. Before I actually get into loading the Cinestill, I just want to talk a little bit about how these disposable cameras work, because they're super cleverly designed, and it's mostly due to how the film is loaded inside of them. And what happens is, in the factory, they unspool the film out of the can onto this sort of holding spool, and then as you wind the camera, it pulls the film across the back here and back into the can. This action also turns this little sprocket here, which cocks the shutter. And then you can take a picture. And I find this whole process actually really quite cool. But what's even cooler is that these cameras were built to be reusable and reloadable by the factory. So if we actually take off the front shell here, we can just pop this out very carefully. And what's really cool about this is that the manufacturers who sell these cameras, you know, Kodak and Fuji mainly, would actually recycle these. So the labs would send these disposable cameras back to the factory. The factory would then disassemble them, take this out, clean it all up, and then take this, put it inside some new shells, and resell it back to the customer. So these sort of disposable camera innards would be used multiple times, which makes perfect sense because you've got, you know, some small electronics here, batteries, all the flash units, capacitors, the mechanism. It's actually super, super cool. So with that out of the way, let's get to reloading this with Cinestill. And to do that, we need to get our Cinestill out of the box. And here she is. Now all we need to do is pull some film out, put onto this sort of take-up spool leader thingy, and just sort of shove it through quite firmly. The leader's too fat. And that is spelled with a PH. So edge it through. Okay. One issue I want to address, although it's kind of not necessary, is the fact that this is a tungsten film. And that means it's very blue. So to counter that, I'm going to just get a little bit of sort of CTO gel here and put it inside the frame film box thing here and just, you know, super glue it in there. So now it's finally time to reassemble the camera. So the first thing we're going to do is put the battery in. And then we're going to take this battery cover and put it in. Next up, we need to put the actual film itself in. So this goes in here, this goes in here, fully in. Then we take the sort of film cover flap thing. So with that in, now we should be able to just take the back cover and pop it on. Okay, so I've sealed the camera with some electrical tape to try and keep the light out. And now I just need to wind up the film using this little turny ratchet here and unwind it all the way out. Now unfortunately, there is actually a little plastic catch on this like thumb wheel that only allows it to go one way. Unless you're like me and you just decide to deal with BFI, which stands for brute force and ignorance. Yeah, that seems like it's it. That's fully out of the can now, so I can't move any further. And that's our camera loaded with Cinestill. Oh, the horrible things I'm doing to this thing. Now all we need to do is shoot the film. So in order to shoot this cursed camera, I decided to meet up with my friend Alex in town, but once I got there, he decided to unzip his bag and then whip out his fat X-Pan. Yep, he'd bought an X-Pan 2, which had kind of slightly, maybe just a little bit, stole the entire show. So here's me with this cursed disposable, and he's whipped out the X-Pan 2. Walking around with the Disposable was very nostalgic. It took me back to a simpler time of family vacations in Majorca and just the 90s in general. God, it was such a simpler time back then. As for the X-Pan, I did take a few shots with it, and I have to say, it's a really, really, really nice camera. I must borrow it off him sometime. I'll probably have to slip him a few 50s, but I might be able to wrangle myself into borrowing his X-Pan for a bit. Anyway, future thoughts. While looking at the photos, you might have realised a slight problem with them. And that is the fact that while I was installing the CTO gel inside the camera to counterbalance the tungsten effect, I left a big dirty fingerprint on it, or a mark of some kind, which just got imprinted onto every single photo I took. Which was really nice to see once I scanned all the photos in. But I'm not too bummed out because this was just a bit of fun with a disposable camera. So now, once again, it is conclusion time. And the first thing I want to ask is, will I do this again? No. Why would I do this again? To be quite honest, I'm actually amazed it worked this time at all, given the terrible, terrible things I've done to this poor little disposable camera. So, yeah. That's Cinestill 800T in a disposable. I'm not sure why I did that. I don't have anything else to say. That's it for this video, guys. See you next time.